So for today's mastermind call, the topic is going to be what I think is the hardest part about using video for your business, and that is just getting started. So I'm going to share a little bit of my personal experience with this, and then I'm going to open it up for discussion, questions. I would love to hear from you guys as well. I definitely don't want it to be just me talking the whole time because that would get kind of boring. So I'd love to hear from, any of you guys who are willing and wanting to share. If not, no pressure as well. I've definitely been on calls where I was, unable to tune in or whatever just because of what was going on. So if you're not able to or willing to, that's totally fine. But I want to make sure there is time for anyone who's wanting to share because I'm definitely excited to learn from you guys as well. So, okay. So before we get into what we're going to talk about, I would love if we could all just drop in the chat what markets we're in, just so we can kind of see where everyone's coming from and support each other. Okay. So I'll just, like I said, I'm just going to share a little bit of my experience with this. And if at any point, any of you guys have anything that you want to add, questions, like anything, that you want to say, feel free to unmute yourself or add in the chat, and then we'll check that later at the end when we do some questions. So my experience as far as video marketing for my business goes. Just a little bit of background. I know I already know a good handful of you guys, but for those I don't know, I got my real estate license in 2015, right out of high school, jumped in as a solo agent. A couple years after getting licensed, my husband Spencer, he quit his job and joined me, and we've been a husband and wife real estate team ever since. And during that first, I would say 5 years or so in the business, my business came pretty much exclusively from for sale by owners. And I loved it and it worked really well for me, but it was pretty much all just FISBOs, that type of thing. Nothing came from video. However, during that time, I had a YouTube channel that I was posting on very consistently that entire, first 5 years. Um, and it wasn't until one day I randomly posted a video about why I love the town that I lived in, and posted that video, forgot about it. And then out of nowhere, my phone started ringing. And within a couple months or so of posting that video, I had two buyer clients who were under contract. And both of these buyer clients were, they were people who were better clients than I was used to working with. If you work with FISBOs, like they're their own kind of client. So easier to work with, higher price point than I'd ever worked with in my life because they're both from California. So moving to Oregon, they're like, good, the prices here are a little bit lower. So higher price point, easier to work with. And then on top of that, at the time, my daughter was a baby, and I kind of just unlocked this new way of selling real estate that I didn't even know existed because I was all of a sudden I was able to bring her with me. I was able to wear my, sweatpants. All the showings, they're virtual. So these two clients, I never met them in person, even to this day. I still have never met them. So I kind of just discovered this new way of working with clients and selling real estate that I didn't even know existed. And this was really the first time that I experienced in my career where I experienced all of a sudden it went from like me begging people to work with me, which I feel like a lot of the ways of getting clients, that's kind of how it is. It's not just for sale by owners. A lot of it, it's like follow up, follow up, follow up. I went from that to people being super excited to work with me. And I just had never, ever experienced that before. So once I saw like, this is a thing, this is working, I really just decided I'm going to go all in. And that's really where I slowly phased out cold calling and really haven't made a cold call since. It's just been like video. That's really been my main focus. So that's just a little bit of like context where I'm coming from, how I got started in this. And now before we open it up for a little discussion, I will go through just like, I don't know, I guess you could say the blueprint. These are very, very simple things. Like you might just be like, wow, this is so obvious. But I really believe what we're going to share right here is like this is just everything you need to know in order to get started using video for your business. So the first thing in order to get started is to just pick a platform. So also I'd love to hear, like, do any of you guys, I know a couple of you guys do and you're killing it. Do any of you guys use video for your business already? You could like unmute yourself, let us know in the chat, whatever, raise your hand. I don't know. Yes, you do. Um, okay, so some of us have already gotten through that point where we've just getting started. Crystal, yes. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So I truly, truly believe that this will work, what we're going to share and what we're going to talk about today. I really, really think this will work no matter what platform it is that you end up using. But I do think that it's really important to just pick one and then kind of go all in with it instead of trying to like spread yourself too thin, if that makes sense. I know for me, I love YouTube and I could just talk all day about how great it is for getting clients, but I also know other agents that are killing it and they don't have a YouTube channel and they're, like they have a different platform that they're using video on. So I think this can work no matter what. But I do think that it's really important to just pick one, at least when you're starting off, and just go all in with that. So that's the first step. The second step is to create a schedule. And by that, I don't mean, because I get this question a lot, like what's the best time to post or what's your posting schedule? And I don't really have any kind of posting schedule, to be honest. I don't think that's really nearly as important as having a content creation schedule. So that's kind of like posting schedule versus content creating schedule. Because I know that creating content for your business, it's the kind of thing that I view it as really important for my business because I've seen the benefits from it. But it's the kind of thing that it's definitely not urgent. So if it isn't, how do I say this? If it isn't scheduled, I guess, into your schedule on a consistent basis, then it probably won't end up happening. So creating some sort of schedule, however often that looks like for you, that's gonna be the second step. And then step number 3 is decide, I don't want to say niche necessarily, but I guess like who do you want to talk to? So, I mean, a good way that you can start by doing this is brainstorming, writing down every idea that comes to your mind, even if you don't think it's a good idea. You can kind of weed out the bad ideas later. But really just creating a target audience and who it is that you're talking to for your business. And I think, honestly, I think all these things that, we're talking about, I feel like this is stuff that applies kind of across the board, even if you're not in real estate, if you're in a different business, like it's kind of all the same thing. But creating a target audience, target ideal client avatar, you've probably heard that before. For me, it's people who are moving to my specific town. And then occasionally it's people who are buying or selling in my specific town. But it's definitely not people who are buying or selling in general, because I tried that and it didn't bring me anything for YouTube, at least. I think there's different, platforms, the different things that you could post and get business from, I guess. But that's the next thing is finding who your target audience is, whether that's like people who specifically want to live in condos or millennial home buyers or people who want like affordable housing or like just there's so many different things, but just finding who that target audience is for you is huge. Step number 4 is you just start, and you start before you're ready. I think that's really important. Before you have any fancy equipment, before you feel like you're an expert at what you're talking about. And I can say for sure that because one of the type of videos I do to get clients is neighborhood tours. And I can say for sure that when I started doing them, I definitely wasn't an expert at every neighborhood in my area. But because I've done these tours, I can talk to my relocation clients very easily about any of the neighborhoods in my area because I actually took the time to do a little bit of research and then film the video and drive through the neighborhood. So I feel like doing these videos will kind of force you in a way to become an expert, if that makes sense, at what it is you're talking about. So don't wait until you feel like you're an expert or until you feel confident on camera. I think the only way to really get confident on camera is to just to do it. And, that comes as you go with practice. We're almost done with these, and then we'll open it up. Okay, number 5 is you may need to do some experimenting at first, but what you find once you find what's working, stick with that. So like I mentioned earlier, I had this channel for that first 5 years in my business where I was just doing cold calls. That's where my business came from. I still had this YouTube channel, but it never brought me a single client until I found that one video that was bringing the clients, and then I went all in on that. And I definitely don't think it needs to take you 5 years by any means to start seeing results from this at all. We also have so much more information now about how to do this than we did back in like 2015. But just experimenting and like being okay with not quite knowing 100% what it is, what direction you're taking things, and just experimenting with your marketing until you find something that sticks. And then once you find that thing that's like, oh, I got a great client from this, then you kind of go all in on that and zero in on that, if that makes sense. And then a couple bonus, I guess, things in order to get started. I think really more than all this stuff, I think mindset is huge, because I think that's a really big thing that oftentimes holds us back from just getting started. Like our topic today, just getting started with marketing for your business. Some of the, one of the big excuses I hear a lot is I don't have the right equipment. And so I'll just share a quick story from my experience with this. So when I was a brand new real estate agent, my sister had a wedding photography and wedding videography business at the time. And she would come over to my house once a week, or not once a week, once a month, and we would batch record a handful of videos talking about like the buying process, the selling process, everything like that. And that's really how I started, like what made me want to start using video marketing for my business. And these videos were like such good quality. They looked amazing, like a super professional camera, sound, professional lighting. She even like made a little background and made it look super aesthetic behind me. And I had a script and I was dressed super professional. And like they were like what you would consider like, very, very good marketing videos, whatever. And they never brought me a single client. And then flipping it over, I've had videos where I'm filming with my iPhone. I'm using either no microphone or a $30 clip-on microphone from Best Buy, and they're not scripted. I'm not dressed professional at all, and I don't sound professional. And those very videos have brought me $1 million clients, and I know that because they've told me this is the exact video I came from. And so I think just letting yourself, I guess, be like allowing yourself to not have perfectionism as that standard, because it's honestly so true that you doing this consistently, and your consistent content is going to 100% of the time bring you more business than making 1 or 2 videos or so and then not being able to keep it up because your standard is just perfection. So that's really how I started with this. And I guess just the biggest like steps I would say for just getting started. I'd love to hear for any of you guys willing to share, for those of you who already do create content, what are your main like platforms, or what is your main platform? Like, do any of you guys have a specific like target audience, anything like that you're willing to share? Let me check out the chat really quick here. Just a second. Anybody? No?
Mariah, so I started last year,
Uh-huh.
and I had a gal that was working with me, and we would do like the batch like for the year, or she'd come like once a month, and we would do like a bunch of weeks of content.
Uh-huh.
And but I'm trying to get a little bit less curated, like you said, because I feel like we're more relatable.
Yeah.
Kind of like your video tours. I think they're so awesome. And so I'm going to try to do more of that. I've gotten a few from Instagram where I haven't been able to tie it to a particular video. They just said that I liked you over X amount of other Instagrams in the
Right.
area.
And
So
they
I've got
found you from there.
Yeah, so I've gotten it slowly starting, but I can't tie it to one video. It's just a feel that they said. So I just want to kind of go more towards what you're doing, where it's just natural and knowledgeable and,
Right.
but yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool that you have some, I mean, they came from that. Like that's a bit, I mean, that means that it's working and that's,
Yeah.
so like just keep doing what you're doing. But are you wanting to stick with Instagram for it? Is that like your main, method or where you see your clients generally coming from?
I would like to try to open it up to YouTube,
Hmm.
but I'm not sure. It's just such a new world to me because I still do expired and everything that you were doing.
Okay. Yeah.
But I guess I'd like to evolve, but I think I want to just stick with Instagram and then maybe go to YouTube.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, so do any of you guys, I guess, have a like a big pain point in this area that you care to like share or just have questions on or anything? And then anyone else, if you want to jump in, like if anybody else has something to share, like advice they can give it as well. I don't have to be the, only person here, but does anybody have like a pain point or something that's stopping them from just starting with this in their business or from like continuing on?
I can share. So I just started a new account and just using it for business.
Huh?
But I feel like I try to do more like a virtual tour, and then I feel like everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
And even for me, it gets a little boring sometimes. And like the main focus, like my identity, how I want to show myself online.
Huh.
But I don't know, it's like it's not that easy just to make yourself different from others.
Right.
So that's what I'm kind of struggling with so far.
That makes sense. I think the video tours, I think those can be really great. I definitely would see how that would be kind of a issue though, is showing like I guess your personality or how different you are from other agents since so many people are doing it. But I think a big thing with that, I know for me, anytime I've had any kind of business that came from video marketing with either Instagram or Facebook, because they're on Instagram where you're putting them, right? It's on Instagram. Anytime for me, it's been like sphere of influence, people that already know me, or maybe acquaintances that kind of know me, but then them seeing you on the platform creating videos kind of reminds them that you're in the business, if that makes sense. So in that way, you don't really need to be super different because it's if that I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of what I've seen. I don't know if any of you guys have used it and seen a lot different type of clients coming from it, but I know for me it's always been like people I know or like acquaintances. It hasn't really been like just leads that don't know me at all, if that makes sense. But
Hmm. But like for example, when you mentioned your two clients
huh?
that lives in California from YouTube, do they know you or
No. So from
they just
YouTube, nobody, I haven't known any of them previously. It's all been just, yeah, people I've never met. And then also it's usually people who have never been to my town that I live in. And, usually they don't come here till after they close, which is fun. Okay. So anyone else have a pain point at all that they have or like anything that's just been an issue with this? Oh, I see your hand up here, Christina. Hi.
Hi. I don't know if I'm the only one on here that doesn't have a license yet. So I'm just trying to get my feet in the water. I'm about ready to test. But I was just curious if because I am going to do the video approach. Um, but what do you think about starting before? Because it's not like I can really start with anybody right now. But what about just what kinds of things would you suggest that maybe I could to begin with video, even though I'm not, I can't do business quite yet.
Right. So how soon are you to getting your license?
It'll be this summer sometime. I've got my application. I'm waiting. I'm in California and I'm waiting for that date.
Okay, so you're pretty close. So you're wondering like what can you do right now before being licensed?
Yeah, if it's even a good idea, or should I wait until I can actually do something?
I know there's laws and I know they're different in different areas. So there's a lot of like gray areas as far as what we're allowed to say and talk about unlicensed. I'm pretty sure, I know where I'm at least, there's laws about like we can't say this house is listed at this price if we're unlicensed. I'm pretty sure it's something like that. However, I know for a fact there are at least a good handful of agents in other markets who are doing this whole like living in, moving to YouTube channel style thing. And there's people who are actually unlicensed who are the ones making the videos, and then they're passing the leads on to the agent, if that makes sense. So I know there's no there. Well, there should be no laws about talking about your town. You know what I mean? Like, and those are videos that bring a lot of clients. So like, what market are you in?
I'm in Susanville, so I'm way up north of California.
Okay.
And so yeah, I kind of thought something like that, like not necessarily talking about things that I can't really talk about yet,
Right. I would.
um,
Oh, go
but just
ahead.
kind of branding and kind of people kind of knowing maybe where I'm heading, but yeah, giving some value around maybe my area.
Yeah, no, that's really smart. I would start right now if I were you. That's really smart to get ahead of things. I would just avoid anything that's like, um, price point, talking about certain prices. I would maybe do like home tours of homes that are for like that kind of thing, which I don't think you could do anyway without a license, but I would just focus more on things that you can talk about, like what you like about living in your area, moving to your area. Like there's so many. I'm happy to give you a whole list of ideas too after this. I can email over to you.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
there are a lot of things that you could talk about that you don't need to be licensed. That would definitely bring clients. That's really smart that you're doing.
right. Thank you.
Well,
Thank
as
you.
far as, for you, Christina, like starting now, it may not make sense for you to start posting videos necessarily right away, because if you do get a lead and you have to tell them that you're unlicensed, like that would be a little like, eh. But starting to batch content now and have it ready. So like you can look at Mariah's channel or my channel, if you're thinking about doing YouTube for like relocation clients, and see what kind of videos we're making, and then just start batching those so you have them ready. And then as soon as you're licensed, you'll have a backlog of videos that you can just post, because there is burnout. So like, I don't know if anybody else is doing YouTube besides Mariah and I, but there's definitely burnout in creating videos, and also in like just continuing with ideas on what you want to post. I mean, like you can have a list of 50, but you're still like, "Ah, I don't want to go do it today." So if you have time now before you're licensed to start creating them, if you're going to edit them yourselves, then learning how to edit, and all of those sorts of things that you can do ahead of time, so that the second you get your license, you're hitting the ground running. And
Okay.
like
Thank you.
a
Thank
couple
you.
people have different pieces of advice about like how, like when you're starting a YouTube channel, like whether or not you should post a couple videos, or like just start one a week, or how you should do it. But I really do think that it's best personally, if when you're starting the YouTube channel, to have like maybe 4 videos that you post right away, because people that will see one video, they're going to go try to see if you have other videos. And then like I would say like, so post 4 and then start doing one a week. And you're in a prime position to do that because you can batch those 4 well ahead of time and be ready to post them. Some people, like other people that I would say are just wanting to get started with YouTube, if you can only create one a week and you can only post one a week, still do it. Like one a week, go, go, go. But if you're in a position like Christina, where you can batch a couple so that the second your YouTube channel starts, it already has like a little bank, then I think that that's really beneficial.
Oh, thank you, Hannah. That's a really great idea. I will do that. Yeah. So you're on YouTube. I can go
Yep.
look you up. Okay.
Yep. Moving to Eugene, Oregon with Hannah Caldwell or something along those lines. I don't remember.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know about you, Mariah, but would you say that your pros and cons video is like your top performing video?
Definitely pros and cons are.
Yeah. So without a doubt, my pros and cons video is also my top performing video. So I would say if you're going to start somewhere, like maybe 2 videos before that, but then get that pros and cons video out as soon as possible. Yep.
That's really good advice, especially with like the scheduling. Honestly, that's yeah, that's really, really good. Scheduling out. It's really nice that we're able to do that, but that's smart. Okay, I'm gonna answer a couple real quick questions. So a couple people said they came in a little late and weren't sure of the topic. We were just talking about getting started, if you haven't caught on by now, getting started using video marketing for your business, is the topic. And then Luba said, I have been stalling putting up videos on YouTube because I came across videos that are so high quality and beautiful that iPhone footage seems not good enough. Any advice on how to either edit to improve quality or push back on the mental block? Okay. I would say the biggest thing to focus on would be what you're actually saying in the video. Like, is what you're saying in the video actually helping people who are moving to your area, buying a house in the area, whatever the topic is. There's plenty of other niches besides just those two, but I'm just using those as an example. But I would really say that the main focus, if you keep the focus on okay, we've got 10 minutes left, guys. If you keep the focus on just that, knowing that like that's what they're gonna appreciate. Obviously make sure that they can hear you, like don't be by a busy road, but I mean the audio on your phone should be good enough. Window lighting is great. I think as long as the main focus is like what's the meat inside the video, is am I actually answering questions that people buying a house here would want to know, giving them valuable information, then I definitely think that's more important than having a super fancy, good quality video. But for what? You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just my advice. If anyone else has anything, feel free to jump in as well.
This was a little bit of a block for me as well. I film on my iPhone. I have a shitty tripod, but I think one of the big things for me was editing. It was something that I just wasn't willing to do. So off the bat, I outsourced it. So I'd say if like that's a block for you, be willing to put the money up. Like it's going to be worth it. I promise you, be willing to put the money up to outsource editing. And like based on your like, I don't want to get into it, but like you can find video editors for like very, very inexpensive. So yeah, I wouldn't like, that's what I would do is I would immediately hire an editor.
And you use what do you use for your editing, Hannah?
I have a social media assistant now that does all of my, I mean, I think she probably was on Fiverr.
Okay.
If I had to guess, but she was a referral from another agent in a different mastermind that I'm in.
Okay.
But like she does all of my thumbnails. She does all of my YouTube video editing. She does all of my Instagram reels, whether it's creating them or editing them, depending on like if it's like B-roll-y, whatever, I don't know. And then she does some posting, like she does some blog posting, some other stuff, but those are my big two is YouTube and Instagram. And she basically takes care of all of them because I couldn't.
Right. Well, I did not know you even used your iPhone for your YouTube videos because I would never get like they look so professional and good. Like I was literally just watching because it came up in my notifications. I'm subscribed, so I was watching one the other day, and
you're so cute.
It was like the rent in Eugene, and I actually watched. Usually when other agents, I sometimes like to see what other people are doing just to get inspiration. And usually I don't watch the whole thing, but I watched yours the entire way through because it was really good and you kept me there. But I wouldn't have thought you'd use your iPhone even. So
yeah, I use my iPhone for everything. I think one of the things, if you have like a mental block around getting started, I think one of the things that helped me was like I was really like overwhelmed by people that had those like beautiful YouTube backdrops. And so like doing sit down videos really like intimidated me. So I started by going out into the community, and even like for one of my first pros and cons videos or like something like, I just walk around. So I'll just literally walk around somewhere. It doesn't even need to be necessarily pertaining to the video. Because I think personally, when you're moving and there's like different backgrounds, the video tends to be a little bit more engaging. So that is one of the things that if it's intimidating for you to be like, I need to sit in this like perfect YouTube set, like don't do that. Go outside, sit at a picnic table, walk around a park. I think that's a really easy way to get over a mental block.
Right. Yeah, definitely don't let it stop you. from creating the videos because clients will come. They'll still come. Like I'm telling you,
I didn't start a YouTube until I met Mariah. So like I haven't even had it, I don't know, not even a full year. And I've had one closing and
nice.
I've probably had 15 leads,
Wow.
maybe solid leads.
Wow. That's so awesome. And yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think videos could be any worse than some of mine that I've made. Like they're no, like so bad, like unprofessional, just so bad. And I've still gotten clients from them. So if I can do it, you can do it. Um, okay, this question right here. Do you get buy sell leads from your Real Broker videos? Also been thinking about doing Real Broker videos. So I have a different, that's not the same channel. I have a separate channel that's for I don't know, like agent facing content slash just whatever else I really want to talk about because I don't want to put it on my channel for relocation clients and kind of like muddy that. I want the algorithm to know that like that channel is for people moving to Oregon and nothing else. And I don't want it to hurt my business there in any way. So I haven't had like buy sell leads from that. I've had many throughout the years of doing it, really, really great referrals from like other agents. It's been a while. I think I used to get more, previously, but I kind of took a break from it. But I've definitely had like buyer and seller leads from that. So I think that there's definitely a place for like agent facing, content to get agent to agent referrals from, but definitely different type of clients than, the relocation that we're talking about here. And then also, do you recommend the house tour videos? Has anyone really done these here that they can speak on that? Because I know for me, I really haven't done a lot of the house tour videos personally.
So I'm in another YouTube mastermind group, and a couple of the agents are starting to try out the house tour videos. I really think that personally, I only think it's beneficial if you live in a market where new construction is really big for you. With new construction, if you film a home tour of different models, that's got a lot more lifespan than if you're filming a resale house that's only going to be on the market for a month, and then is going to be gone. So I think that if you are in a market where new construction is really rampant, then that can be a great strategy. I would have it be its own channel. So I would be like, this is like new construction in Houston, Texas. And then I would have, if you wanted to have a relocation channel, I would have it be separate. But in a market like mine, probably yours, Mariah, where like we have like a little, like I have less than you, a little bit of new construction, but like not enough to support an entire channel. It just is not worth the
Right.
time.
Right. And I also kind of think that if you're going to do, at least if we're talking YouTube, I think other platforms are different, but if you're using YouTube, I think that you're almost better off doing all home tour videos and just making that be your like niche is like showing people that live here and want to buy here or are moving here and want to buy here, showing them new constructions and kind of only doing that is what I would probably recommend. But I don't have a ton of
Lucas, if you're in San Antonio, you're gonna want to look up Raj Sahu's videos. Raj does new construction home tours in somewhere in Texas. I don't know which town, and is like wildly successful with it. So I think that's a good place to look and start if you wanted to do new construction home tours.
Hannah, could you, Stevie asked, can you share your YouTube? Would you mind sharing it in the chat?
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you go watch my videos though, you have to watch them all the way through.
Yeah, for her watch time. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay.
I say I've been doing YouTube actually since I came across Mariah's channel, so about a year ago. And she's the best. First of all, ask her all your questions. But no, seriously, but the hardest thing I think after like a month is trying to figure out what to make content of. And I think the best tip, and I think Mariah told me this, and I heard you both drop that, is like go look up other real estate agents' channels and see what they're doing because you can tweak it to your area. Like I cannot tell you how many of Mariah's videos I have like remade for my area. I'm in a completely different market, but they work and they every time. And so it's just like an easy way to get content. Is like if you're not in the same market, you're not copying their video. Like I'm states away from her. but it's definitely helped me like so many times. Like I cannot count how many times I've gone to her channel and been like, okay, what can I possibly make here for my area? So that's just an easy way, because content, I think, is the hardest thing, is like, what am I going to film?
Yeah. Yeah. I've definitely been in a rut where I'm like, okay, I've done all the pros and cons videos. I've done all the, like I've done so many, I've done all the neighborhoods that I want to do neighborhoods of in my town. And I, for a while, kind of stopped for the first time, just because I'm like, I don't really know what else to do. And I'm totally lacking the motivation and stuff to do it. And then I decided I'm going to start doing town tours for like specific towns outside of my town, if that makes sense. And then tours of like each different part of my town. So it's like, you kind of just got to pivot, you know, you do what works. Like for me, it was just neighborhood tours for so long. And then I'm like, okay, I've done this, and you got to, know that at a certain point, you'll probably have to pivot what you're doing, and that's okay. But
that, and don't be afraid to repeat content. So like once you've had your YouTube channel for like even like 6 months, like your town changes, right? The pros and cons might change. So you can always do it like pros and cons of 2023, pros and cons of 2024. Don't be afraid to repeat the content, because.
So we just wrapped up the mastermind. Thank you for everyone who came. I just wanted to add this because, as you can see, the video just stops right there. I believe we had about a minute left. So it was like about to wrap up, maybe a little more, but about to wrap up. And I don't know what happened. This was my first time ever running a mastermind. I stupidly, accidentally, somehow clicked exit and exited out of the Zoom call. So kind of embarrassing, but I just wanted to add this to the end. I'm filming this obviously after. I just wanted to add this to the end to, first of all, say thank you, because I didn't get the chance to wrap things up at the end, to say thank you for everyone who was on the call. It was fun. I had a lot of fun talking with you guys. And if you have any questions, suggestions for a future mastermind call, let me know. Shoot me an email or an Instagram DM, and I'd love to discuss, anything in the future, like regarding our real estate business. Also, as I was saying, because I'm getting messages from people that were in the mastermind, like, what just happened? Like the video just cut off. Basically, it just seemed like the video just ended, which it was going to end soon. It only had like a minute or so left, but I feel terrible that we didn't get to wrap up. So I'm so sorry to everyone that was on there and all of a sudden we disappeared. I'm sorry. I will not do that again. But thank you guys for coming. It was a lot of fun. If you were on this call, I would love for you to come back. I'd love to chat with you guys some more. I had a lot of fun chatting with you guys that were on the call. I'd love for you to come back. We're gonna do this 2 times a month on the 1st and 3rd Mondays of the month. Feel free to send me your topic suggestions if there's anything else that you want to talk about besides, what we talked about today, video marketing. And also, if you are not able to make it to today's call and you want to join next time, feel free to come. Just let me know whether you were on last time, whether you were on the call this time or not, and you want to join next time. Let me know, and I will gladly send you the Zoom link. And I hope everyone has a beautiful rest of their week.